And a good Tuesday afternoon to you. Roger Hill of Weathering Heights, VELCO Weather Hazards Forecaster. This weather video is driven by 802cars.com, representing 802 Toyota, Twin City Subaru, 802 Honda. They are all located off of Exit 7 on Interstate 89. First things first, at large here, we're looking at the big picture, and these little symbols here are showing smoke, and some of the stations reporting smoke. You can see that it's well defined up in parts of Canada as well as Pacific Northwest, mostly in the interior sections. Even a few dry lightning strikes being shown up in a couple spots there. In the east, it's all about moisture coming in from the Gulf of Mexico, streaming around the Bermuda High, which has sank a little bit lower latitude. The Bermuda High still activating and pumping a lot of moisture and surges, and we're continuing to see a very active weather pattern for our neck of the woods here. And a lot of that warmth and humidity is starting to make a run northward, as you can see with the dew point temperatures here, and even some 70-degree dew point temperatures currently in southeastern Ontario. The air temperatures themselves not as warm, but that's on the increase, as you can see some 80s, and we'll be seeing some of those 80s a little bit later on in the week. The real heat indexes, however, show up here where you see the 90s and even close to 100 degrees in a few spots along the southern coast, and some of this is getting imported with this trough of lower pressure and then having it whisk up the eastern seaboard. Before we get to the incremental modeling, I want to show you quickly some anomalous warm temperatures, and this has been particularly strong and holding strong across the west coast right now, the southwestern part of the U.S., western interior sections, and of course up into the areas around British Columbia, Alberta, and so forth. At times this breaks off and heads east, and that has been the case. So as I run the computer modeling here, this is anomalous warmth. You can see the scale here. Anything in these red colors, and especially getting into that whiter shade, is extreme anomaly of around greater than 12-13 degrees above normal. And this is 850 hectopascal temperatures, roughly about 4,000 to 5,000 feet. So what you can see here is our warmth that's working in. This is valid along about Friday. And you can see that over the weekend, or at least during the day on Friday, we're going to see a little bit of that. And then followed by a cold front that's going to push in. It looks like that's really going to be realized not so much on Saturday, but a little bit more on Sunday. And it's a very active weather pattern. But notice what's going on in the Pacific Northwest, and you can kind of see that that gets pulled along the U.S.-Canadian border, and these little sort of packages of extra heat, anomalous heat, will be working its way across Canada and toward the northeast United States. And running the incrementals, we can see precipitation here in the green. These are the amounts, and this is 6 hourly shots, so going back 6 hours every 3 hours shown. And basically, most of the heavy action is really rolled through parts of Vermont this morning. A little bit lesser amounts during the afternoon, and probably just isolated showers generally east of the Green Mountains later on this afternoon. And then we're looking at a pretty active day for severe weather. This particular area around central and sort of southern and central areas of New York State going to be under the gun this afternoon for strong to locally severe thunderstorms. And that basically heads into Canada late overnight tonight. And then a couple of these will redevelop during the night and become nocturnal, and then work into the very far western parts of Vermont and southern parts of Vermont. Now we get into tomorrow, Wednesday. It looks like a fairly active day for shower and thunderstorm activity, depending on the intensity. The intensity is going to be very much coupled to how much sunshine we get in the morning hours. And we got the conditions. We got CAPE, or convective available potential energy, in the 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500 range, which is more than sufficient. And we don't have especially super strong winds aloft, but it does look like wind shear will be up around 30 knots, and that's capable of producing some isolated strong to severe thunderstorms locally across our region, but not super widespread, as the organization tendencies will be a little bit lacking. However, it's something we'll need to watch for tomorrow, especially if we get the sunshine. That could open up the skies in the morning and allow for that instability to develop. We get into Thursday. This is Wednesday evening, and then into Thursday itself. We're sort of seeing an extension of the ridge of higher pressure that's going to bring us a dry weather day. And Thursday right now looks really good for project weather considerations. The next weather system will be this sort of frontal boundary, sort of associated with the Bermuda High and the weakening process of these cold fronts that then basically try to die out. But this is valid Friday, and that's our next chance of seeing some showers and thunderstorms with little waves of low pressure rippling along that frontal boundary, producing some much needed precipitation. And that looks like it's going to affect us on Friday. It looks like into Friday night and also on Saturday morning. Saturday may actually work out to be a relatively dry day in the afternoon after some morning showers and storms. And then on Sunday, we're looking at a repeat of another nocturnal system. The timing on these things are going to be all messed up, so wouldn't count on what you're seeing right here, but this is valid basically Saturday night and into the day on Sunday. Another fairly robust shot of precipitation with showers and thunderstorms in the forecast. And then beyond that, looks like that'll linger into Monday, and then another cold front will drop down beyond the period. We're talking basically late in the day on Tuesday for another active stretch of potential strong to locally severe storms then. Looking at the GFS ensemble forecast, you can see 3-hourly QPF events, and that was mostly the shower activity that moved through already this morning. Things dry out a little bit, and then we see pretty much daily shots of precipitation, a little bit of a drying slot here, and this is valid for Thursday with our drier weather. Taking a look at the total amounts of QPF, you can see where we're going to fall. Now, indications are we're going to get bumped up here, greater than 1/2 inch and greater than 1 inch amounts over the course of the next 5 to 7 days going into this coming weekend, and maybe in as much as 1.5 inches. This particular metric shown here is precipitable water, and you can see that it maxes out in basically 2 periods. Today kind of carries a little bit over into the day on Wednesday, and then a cold front is going to issue some dry air to the region with the lowered of the precipitable waters, and then you can see a secondary peak once we get into the period coming up this weekend. This shows convective available potential energy, and it's really the day Wednesday where you can see this maxes out, and you can see other days to follow, but really noticeable there. And a quick look at dew point temperatures as well. Weather Prediction Center shows greater than 1.5 inches in a few spots here in Vermont, mostly to the north of our region, and then also a little bit more to the south. Weather Reanalyzer shows the amounts of anomalous heat, and that's mainly across our northern areas, and it's this area again in the northern and western parts of North America that's going to spread and kind of hook in across the U.S.-Canadian border region. Quick look at temperatures by the GFS ensemble. You can see that we peak out a little bit later on this week, and some oscillation indicated, ups and downs, much like the European. Weighted MOS temperature, MOS guidance, the next 5 days of higher temperatures will be weighted average, and about 3 days later, this will go up slightly. Tropics are relatively quiet. We have a 10% chance of a cyclone formation over the next 48 hours. And this 10% will continue chances for formation over the next 5 days. Latest indications here that we will have some active weather in this particular area of parts of central and western New York into Pennsylvania for locally strong, locally severe thunderstorm activity. This will not make it into Vermont today. However, this particular area will be shifted north and east during the day tomorrow. That's it from here. Roger Hill, Wuthering Heights. Thanks for watching.